Hi, this is Rick for EDU Mobile. Today I want to look at tab bars and tab bar controllers. Now I've set up a very simple project, and actually this is just the template that we get in Xcode. If we just say File, New Project, and then choose the tabbed application template. So after that we would just click Next and of course fill this in the usual way. So what do we get? Well, we have a tab bar controller. We can see that here. And we have two tabs, first and second. And then we have two view controllers. We don't have a controller for the tab bar controller over here because in the template code, in the template application, it's not needed. But we're going to add one very soon. And then we have the first view and the first view controller, and then the second view and the second view controller. We can see that the first view controller's icon is here, and this is a custom identifier with the title of first there, and then an image of first. The images are placed in the images.xc assets folder. So when you create an image for tab bar controller, it needs to be 30 by 30 or 60 by 60. We need to create them both. And we can see that both of these images, and these are the default template images, both of these are black, and they are 30 by 30 in the case of the non-retina image, and 60 by 60 or double in the case of the retina image. And they're named first ping and first at 2x.ping. So there we go. Now, or second in this case. So those images go into our custom identifier. We would select the custom identifier, give it the title of first or second or whatever we wanted, and then the image we would select first or second depending on our need. And if it's a retina display, it'll use the at 2x file. If it's a normal display, it'll just use the regular ping. Okay, we can also place a tag value. This is our normal tag value for all objects, and we can inspect that tag value and do different things. We can also have a badge on a tab icon, and if we just enter, let's say, hi, this is a text value, that badge will be placed next to the icon. Usually that's a number. We can say 4, or if we clear it entirely, it will go away. Now the badge will be displayed not only in the tab view controller, but also in the tab bar controller. And we can see that reflected right here in Interface Builder as we do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see how it behaves. Now, even though these images are black, solid black, they will be tinted by the tab bar controller's tint. So I'm going to show you that here in a moment, but that tint right now is the default tint color. It's blue. We don't see the tab bar controller. We see the first view that is added to the tab bar controller. So that's the selected tab right now. If we tab to the second view, we'll see the second view controller being displayed. Now these view controllers, we can do anything we want to with them. They're normal view controllers. We can have any kind of controls on them we want. Right now they're just labels. And in the default template, you would use these first two view controllers. You could add another one, which we're going to do next. You could change these. You could replace one or both of them with navigation controllers. You can do anything that you would normally do. Now the tab bar controller's tab bar has properties, and if we look down through these properties, we will find the view and the tint. This is the view for the tab bar, and then the tint on that view. Now right now it's set to a default, and that's the blue color. If we select some other color, let's say that's the default. If we select a red color and rerun the application, that will be saved as we run it. And now we can see that the tint on our tab bar controller icons is changed to red. All right. So now I'm going to do a little bit of coding. I'm going to instantiate a tab bar controller, create a tab bar controller, change this tab bar controller's controller, and then add a small model. So bear with me as I do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've added a class tab bar controller. This is an instance of UI tab bar controller. And then in the interface builder, I've set the custom class for our tab bar controller to our new class tab bar controller. In tab bar controller, the class itself, I've got a single property, string data, and in this case, this is representing the model. We could also have a model that was instantiated from another class here, and so forth, but I want to keep it simple for this example. And then in the implementation, I'm just overriding the getter to return a set up string data if string data doesn't already exist. So we've seen this before, and our string is hello world. Now, if we go to first view controller, and let's go back into the storyboard, and let's say we want to get at that string or that model. So instead of doing this, let's just set this. This is a, what is this? This is a text view. Yes, it's a text view. Let's just get rid of that text view entirely and drag a label out here, and we'll just for now just make it a little bit bigger and center it, and then center its text. Okay, so now we will create a property in first view controller for that label. So this is property. It should be non-atomic. We're not dealing with any threads right now. And it should be weak. It's a label. It's going to be retained by the view. So it's an IB outlet property because it's on the view. And we want to be able to get to it here and wire it up. And then it's a UI label. And then we'll just call it display, for lack of a better word. Okay. And then we will bind that, wire that up in our first view controller scene to the display to this label. And finally, once we've got that wired up, sorry about that, we'll double click our label and then delete the text. All right, so it's there, but nothing is displayed. So now, how do we get to that? Well, when first view controller comes up, view did load will run. So now let's go see if we can't find first view controller's tab bar controller. So we need the tab bar controller instance. So let's go ahead and get that into first view controller's header. So we want to import not first view controller. Sorry about that. Tab bar controller. And we don't need to make a property of this. We're only importing this so that we can cast first view controller's tab bar controller property. So now we want to say tab bar controller, let's just call it tab, is equal to, and we want to cast self.tab bar controller, just as we said in the discussion. And now we can get to tabs properties. So we can say self.display.text, and that's the label that we're dealing with. Let's get rid of this. It's a little bit distracting. Self.display.text is equal to tab dot, and then what did we call that property? Let's look. String data. So tab dot str data. And now, when the first view controller loads, it should set hello world in that string. And this is how we get to a model using our tab bar controller. So let's see if I did everything right. Should have done. And there it is, hello world. And second, of course, is still the second view controller, but we could do the same sort of interaction with the second view controller as we're doing on the first. And of course, this kind of interaction can be variably complex. We can have, we can do pretty much anything we want. The tab bar controller could instantiate a separate model class that could be as complex or as simple as we needed it to be. The first view controller and second view controller could have controls that would interact with that model and call methods on the model and so forth. So this is a very important thing that I need you to understand about tab bar controllers. We instantiate their model within the tab bar controller itself. So just to review, the way that we get this tab bar controller to reflect our tab bar controller and not just a generic UI tab bar controller is we select the controller and make sure that this side panel is open, and then go to this third tab, which is our if I hover that, the name of that is the Identity Inspector, and then we set the custom class here to the actual class that we create rather than UI tab bar controller, which is the default. Thank you very much.